So one of the best-known horror films spawned by a true story is 1979's The Amityville Horror.
Yeah, in 1975, Ron DeFeo Jr. murdered his parents and 4 siblings. Afterwards, George and Kathy Lutz moved in with their 3 kids, but soon left, claiming they'd been terrified by paranormal events.
So Sunday night, a 4-night docuseries opens on the streaming service MGM+. It's called Amityville, an origin story. Take a look.
In the Amityville house, Ronald DeFeo murdered his family.
In the middle of the night, nobody heard the guns go off. Did something influence him?
We moved into the Amityville house. There was times when it scared the hell out of me.
Something took hold of my hand.
Is it truth or is it a hoax?
The Amityville Horror, it's called a true story. It's time to set that record straight.
Totally creeped out right now. Okay, so director and executive producer Jack Riccobono is joining us this morning. Jack, thank you so much for being with us.
Yes.
Thanks for having me. Nice to meet you.
I mean, this is a story that really has haunted so many for so many years. But explain the title, because it's called An Origin
Yes,
Story.
so, you know, most people know the film from the 1979 original film or the remake in 2005 with Ryan Reynolds. So they've heard of it, they've heard something about it, it's been out there for a long time. We really go back and dig underneath the story and look at the factors that really make it tick and kind of twist everything you think you know about the Amityville Horror. So it's a really new take on this story.
Okay, yeah, I've seen all the things that involve Amityville, and I have to admit, during Halloween, I'm one of those people that drives by the house to look at it.
Yes.
But tell us one of the things that the Lutz family claims they experienced, I guess, in the 28 days that they actually lived inside.
Yes, well, they believed that inside the house they heard demonic voices, they had blood coming out of the walls, they believed there was black substances in the toilets, and that their young daughter their young daughter Missy saw a demonic pig named Jody made famous in the 1979
Could you figure out and debunk any of that?
Well, you know, we weren't really interested in debunking. You know, what we wanted to do is really kind of dig under the surface and see what were the factors in the 1970s that made this such an enormous film when it came out in 1979. It's one of the most successful independent films of all time. It made over $80 million when it came out, and it was kind of the first time that you had a horror film based on a true story where the family, the Lutzes, were sitting on Good Morning America next to James Brolin and promoting the movie right before it came out. So it was this interesting kind of confluence of events that happened and kind of blew this up into a phenomenon that's sort of still going to this day. There's more than 40 films now with Amityville in the title. So.
Oh, you spoke with a lot of people. Did you speak to Ron DeFeo Jr.?
So we couldn't speak with Ron DeFeo Jr. because he passed away a couple years ago behind bars, but we do have an exclusive interview that the famous ghost hunter Hans Holzer did with him behind bars that has never been released before.
Now, you did speak with our own Pixel 11's Marvin Scott, right, who was covering this back then when it first actually happened. Here's a little clip of him and another reporter and speaking with a psychic. Take a look at this clip.
And Warren said, "Come on, Marvin, we're going upstairs to the sewing room," which was the area which had the strongest paranormal sense.
And it's something that comes at you and makes your heart speed up.
When we went upstairs to the 3rd floor, it was like she walked into a wall. She said, "I can't go in here."
Lorraine said to me, "Marvin, this is the deepest, the closest to hell I ever want to get." She was quite serious and seemed quite concerned at that moment.
I know. I mean, I've often spoken to Marvin about this because I'm so fascinated by it. What do you make of the paranormal activities that they talk about?
Well, it's really interesting because just a few weeks after the Lutzes fled, they invited paranormal investigators, including the really famous investigator couple, the Warrens, who are the basis of the Conjuring horror series, to come into the house and do a seance to try to validate what they said they felt inside the house. And Marvin was there that night of the seance and covered the story. So this is real footage from that night in March 6, 1976, where the Warrens conducted this seance, and Lorraine Warren confirmed it was the closest to hell she ever wanted to get.
Do you really think you're done with your work on this? Because do you ever reach a point where you can tie a bow on this whole story?
I think I personally am done with this story, but I think the story is going to keep going on forever. I mean, there are so many wild theories and conspiracy theories still out there, and part of what this series...
As to why he did it.
as to why he did it, as to what is really haunting the house, if it will happen again. I mean, people are just fascinated and continue to be fascinated by this story.
Yeah.
And the show, you know, it's a mix of genres because you have this true crime mass murder that also happened to the DeFeo family before the Lutzes moved in, a real tragedy.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of very strange, unexplained aspects of that crime, and that's also part of what we dig into. So for your true crime fans, we have something for them
you
too.
get everything. Yeah, 'cause people are always wondering, why did Ron do it?
Exactly.
All right.
And they couldn't really answer that, which left the door open for paranormal explanations.
Exactly. Hey, this is I'm fascinated by this. I know so many are.
He wants to stay at the house.
I do want to stay at the house. So Jack, great to have you here. Director
Thanks for having me.
and executive producer of Amityville: An Origin Story. You can catch the 4-night docuseries on MGM Plus starting this Sunday. You know I'll be watching.